Welcome to the long game. I've got awesome guest today, Morgan Oakes. I usually say special, but you're awesome in so many ways. Morgan is a friend of mine, and I can't wait till he delivers his secret sauce. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the long game, Morgan Oakes. Great to have you. Finally, we got you in the studio.
It's happened. It's
You've
good.
been so
good
busy.
to be here,
You've been
Howie.
traveling, and yeah, I'm very excited that you're here today.
Yeah, really grateful for it. I love the studio, and yeah, excited to dive in.
Thank you, thank you. So tell our audience a little bit about who Morgan Oakes is and what you love to do with life.
Yeah, so I'm a transformational speaker. I'm a high performance coach. I'm a healer. I'm also a chiropractor, and I'm really just about empowerment. Like anything that can help life be better, remove some of the pain, and add in some more of the amazing. Like that's what I love doing.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. So you have a few pillars that you probably want to tell us about today. What might those be?
Yeah, well, I have found through just life, right? That's where we all discover our things. Through life that with clarity, courage, inspired action, if people can find a good balance with that and a good flow, that it really helps people just continue to be moving into that best life.
So clarity, courage, and inspired action. Does one come before the other?
I think that's a great order for them. And a way to make it more simple is in life, if we can just listen and then step. And it's like shampoo, right? They're like shampoo, rinse, repeat. And the same with this. Listen and step and then listen again. And if we do that, we'll just keep moving through our barriers. We'll keep doing the things that are working. And if we keep listening and stepping, we'll stop doing the things that aren't working and just keep moving towards that best life.
Nice, nice. So if we were to step into clarity, what would that look like?
So clarity for me is we all have that ability to listen. Right, we all know what's that one thing we could do to improve our health. What's the one thing we could do to help be better in business, to help be better in relationship. And so the clarity piece is really about slowing down and just listening to those ways that clarity comes in to us in life. And I know you and I, our time is a little bit limited today. And what's interesting is I love empowering people, right? And I love giving people tools that they can just take and step into right away. And so, in my TEDx talk, Learning the Language of Dude, if people go there, there's 7 very solid steps to deepen into their clarity in their own life and have it not be some mental construct, but actually something they can live into.
Nice, nice. So how about courage? What have you got to say about courage and how that plays into this?
Yeah, well, with courage, we all know, anybody that's doing something in life, they had to courageously let go of something and step into that new thing. Right? And so I think for courage, it's really easy to make it this big, unattainable, like, I could never do that. And the reality is nobody could.
Right.
All of us make those little steps. So how can we approximate that thing in the future? So for you and I, if I wanted to go repeat this later today at my place, you got an amazing setup here, but I have an iPhone and I got a couple chairs, and so I could approximate this and you and I could have an interview at my place. Right. So for all of us, courage is usually just what's the next step. And then I also think, in social media, we have that really unhealthy habit of, oh my gosh, look at what the Joneses are doing.
Right.
They're on this vacation, they have this amazing life, because we get the facade of everybody's life on social media.
Sure.
So instead of doing unhealthy comparison, if we can step into modeling, I can model after what you're doing here, let's say, and set up a studio. Or I could ask you questions and you could mentor me.
I see.
Or I could pay you and you could be my coach and you could help me make that distance between A and B as short as possible. So modeling, mentoring, and coaching is another way to help people courageously step into whatever's coming next.
I like it. Okay, that's pretty cool. So clarity, courage, and I've already forgot the last one.
It's inspired action.
Inspired action.
Yeah. And inspired action, a lot of us are in action. We're doing a bunch of steps. We're busy. We're hustling, right?
Yeah.
But it's not inspired because we don't actually care about it. We're just stuck in the day to day. We're flatlined. We're plateaued. It's not inspired action. It's just action. So adding that inspiration, and if it's something that we're passionate about, that we actually care about, that makes it inspired, and that makes it sustainable just to begin with.
So is identifying your passion probably the first step in that?
I think that's a big part of it. And if we keep listening and stepping, if we're being honest with ourselves, we all know what we love or what we used to love. We all know what's not working in our life. So I think, getting in that cycle of listening and stepping, if we're being honest and we're being courageous with it, we'll get closer and closer to our passion.
I see.
Every day. So that's the first part of it. And then, the other part that I think we run into with hustle is it sustainable? Like you and I could get ready for, let's say, you and I could probably run a marathon, or we could do a triathlon a month from now. But we'd have to work our butts off,
right?
And what we would be doing for the next month would not be sustainable.
Or injuries, or
injuries,
right,
or we're,
right.
Our families would not want to be around us. Like we wouldn't have a life. Our businesses would probably suffer. So inspired action is also about having it be sustainable.
Right.
Like how can we be healthy, happy, in the flow, doing what we're loving, and have it be something that, a decade from now, I'd love to still be doing this with you. Right?
Absolutely. So how do we identify between being an inspired action and just taking action to be taking action? How do you identify what's inspirational and what's not?
Yeah. Well, if you ask anybody, actually I interviewed somebody on my podcast a few weeks ago, and their book is about heaven on earth. And he asks 3 simple questions about what would heaven on earth be for you. And he's been asking these questions to thousands of people, and everybody knows the answer. He doesn't have to reframe it. He doesn't have to explain. And so for everybody, are you living your best passionate life? And people are either going to be like, yeah, I'm loving it, I'm doing it, and they're going to jump into it, or they're going to feel their chest tighten up, or their gut lock down, or their head will drop. Like, people know the answer. Right? And then it's just about being courageous enough to, am I going to settle and try to coast out the rest of this lifetime? Or am I willing to do what's necessary to make things be a little bit better?
Man, you want to take inspired action.
Yeah.
So how can people learn more about how to get clarity, courage, and inspired action?
Yeah, there's so many resources out there. We've got YouTube. I mean, we've got all these places we can go for inspiration and frameworks and questions. And for the work that I do, I love sharing these type of stories through my podcast, Intuitive Wisdom for Modern Transformation.
Nice.
And there I'm asking people, how did you step into what you love? And I think when we hear other people's stories, it gives us permission, like, oh my gosh, that person was almost homeless and now they're a millionaire, or they, decades of failed relationships and now they've been married for 20 years, or, when you hear those stories, it gives you permission to live into that.
Yeah.
So that's one great place. And then also, through my website, drmorganoaks.com.
Okay. I got it up there right now.
Perfect. I love having these conversations with people. So I have a lot of, people will call me up. We'll do a 30-minute call, no cost, and it's just about, let's see how I can be of service. And maybe I have a book to suggest, or a coach, or a teleseminar series, or whatever it might be, or maybe that's a person that wants me to come, speak at their business, or to coach with, or...
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice. So we're just about ready to wrap up here today.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to pass on to our viewers?
Yeah, I think the big thing is really just take a space and listen. We're so busy.
Yeah.
Life is only getting fuller.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
And, it just, a month happens in, what it used to take a week.
Yeah.
Right? Like, things are speeding up. So be conscious and be honest with yourself and just ask how things are going.
Nice.
And when that happens, then you've listened, and okay, what's the next step?
Right.
What's something you can let go of, or what's something you can step into that's going to make life more enjoyable, connection more meaningful,
And being in the flow.
and then be in the flow.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, if you'd like more clarity, courage, or inspired action, reach out to Dr. Morgan. He's an easy to get along with guy. He's right here in Seattle. But you can really do a phone conversation anywhere in the world, right?
Yeah, at this point, most of my stuff's over Zoom, a video a video platform so we can see each other and have a
Nice.
conversation anywhere.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. And thank you for watching this show. Please, we'd love it if you'd like, share, and comment. And that's all we've got today on the long game. So, as always, life's short. Hit record. Take care. Thanks so much for watching the long game. You know how you can help us out? You can like, share, and subscribe. That's it. Just takes a second, and it'll really help to grow our channel. Another thing that you might be able to help us out with is finding interesting people to be on the long game. Just send them to manifesco.com, have them click on the link, The Long Game, fill out the app, and we will be in touch. We always are looking for amazing, interesting people.